Hey y'all, it's Dolores Jones. I feel like I'm out here for tea or something, but actually I'm trying to get this in. Hold on. Okay. Hello? Okay, and we're back. All right, that's live. And remember, Rex, honey, no, this is live TV. All right, Dolores Jones here, the queen of comebacks and your comeback coach. Mwah, mwah, mwah. For the woman who reached out to me and said, Dolores, I'm going back to school. I'm 65. I have one more year to finish my bachelor's degree. I want to celebrate you right now. And you reached out and I reached back because guess what? Your dream does not end until you die. And at 65, baby, you kicking it and you're all the way live. So right now, what I want to talk to you about is you don't belong on the bottom. No. Rise up and come to the top. Now, sometimes what happens is we go through life trauma situations that impose upon our freedom and our mental health and all those things. Abusive relationship, crazy people talking to you. You've been dropped on your head sometimes in situations, or perhaps you're like the prodigal son who took all that he had and he spent it and he wasted it all. Because, sometimes people don't rally when you in the valley, huh? Some people just want to be with you on the mountaintop. Can I get a whoop whoop and an amen? Right. Please like and share this video. I'm feeling good today. So let's talk about how you rise up out of that foolishness. Rise up. Don't die in it. The other day I wanted to cry and I said, but I'd rather cry than die. Come on, somebody. The enemy should have got me long time ago. That time when you really thought you weren't going to make it and God just threw the rope again. And he keeps throwing the rope to you. Like this video is a rope for somebody, for you not to ever give up. You belong on the top. What do you need to do first? You need to shift your mindset. I used to tell my son all the time, I said, I'm going to put something on your mind or I'm going to put something on your behind to get him to do something. Wherever your mind goes, your behind will follow. You heard that song, your body is here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. And that is exactly what's happening in your relationship. And you know this. You just pray that you don't sleep and talk in your sleep. And she said she was leaving. But anyway, close your mouth and just get your plan together. So when I decided that I belonged on the top, I had to drop the dead weight. I did. I dropped the excuses. I dropped people. Some that should have been dropped on their head. Okay. All right then. Don't come for me, devil. Listen. When you get fed up, you ain't got time to argue. When it's time to rise up, you raise your standard. You're saying this is acceptable, this is no longer acceptable, this is a negotiable, this is a non-negotiable. And sometimes we are afraid to speak up and be honest with ourselves and with the person we have to let go. Gotta let it go, a TKO. Listen, don't talk about it. You need to be about it. Now, maybe you were poor for so long that you believe that's all you could do. I remember being on food stamps, and honey, as quiet as it has been, I have still been on food stamps, but this time it's different. The last time I was on food stamps, I was also on what they call income-based housing. And so if my income was to go higher than a certain level, then they would take the benefits away. And at the time I was a single mom. So what was important to me was housing and food and shelter and stability. And so I found myself just working just enough, just enough to get paid, doing just enough so I wouldn't get fired. Well, how did that work for you? Get out of my business. Listen, but even I would say I was released to go follow my vision. Come on. It's all about reframing and your perspective. Rising up out of that situation means you don't ask for permission. You serve notice. Earlier today I was listening to faithfully E.T., the hip hop preacher. And one of the things he talked about is he said, stop asking people for permission for your dream. And I remember there was a time he said co-signing. I remember when I first tried to get my first car, they said, do you have a co-signer? I didn't have a co-signer then, and I still don't have one. And I had to figure that thing out. You don't need somebody to co-sign your dream. No, it's your dream. Well, that's all I know. Well, you need to learn something else. Build other relationships. There is opportunity for you if you're willing to come off the bottom. The bottom is overcrowded. Everybody's at the bottom. And a lot of people are going to stay at the bottom. The Bible says that the poor will be with you always. Look, poor, passing over opportunities regularly. That's what they said. POOR, passing over opportunities regularly. That's how you stay poor. Now listen, I know I slapped somebody, but today I slapped myself as well. Because as I was listening, I realized something, y'all. I was afraid to succeed. Because sometimes you stay in a situation for so long, you're waiting for the bottom to fall out. But I stand to tell you that you can get a different foundation. Faith can be your foundation, not your fear. Here was a question. What if fear were not a part of the equation? What would you do? And I want you to take some time and write it down and think on it. And then I want you to revisit that. And then I want you to take one thing that you put on that list and I want you to go for it. Because sometimes we need baby steps. They count too. Bishop T.D. Jakes was talking earlier today. He was talking about trauma, triggers, and triumph. And he said sometimes we'll be in a situation for 6 years, but we will only celebrate the triumph for 6 minutes. Because we're on to the next thing. Sometimes the triumph is just getting up and being here today. You didn't die. I could say amen to that and then again. But sometimes, y'all, listen, you're going to fill up and you're going to be down. But it said 1,000 will fall by my right hand and 10,000 over there, but it's not going to come nigh my dwelling. Some of the problem is we forget who we really are and what we're meant to do. There's a difference of Dolores being a teacher, Dolores being a radio personality, Dolores being on television, doing that versus being a child of the Most High God, favored by God, appointed by God, equipped by God, anointed, chosen, okay? With a purpose. There's a purpose for me to be here. And let me tell you something. I saw a glimpse of this purpose over 25 years ago when I first graduated from college, from the J School, the journalism school in Columbia. And I remember Henry Chew, he chewed me out, baby. He was telling me what I wasn't going to be and all this. I was like, Holy Spirit, don't let me cry. But when I went into crying, baby, you know, they said, whatever is in you going to come out. My heavenly language started to come out and he had to shut that up. Shut that up. Boy, okay, listen. So after I finished and got myself together, I looked at Mr. Chew. This was over 25 years ago. I said, Mr. Chew, you know what? I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be somewhere equipping people who will meet somebody like you who tells them what they can't do and they can say, oh, yes, I can. And that was 25 years ago. And the funny part was after I left that TV station, I went into teaching. And you know, sometimes things come full circle. There's nothing wrong with having different abilities and different jobs as long as they add to the bigger picture. I'm going to say that again. There's nothing wrong with having a hustle here, a hustle there, and a hustle over there, as long as it adds to the bigger picture, right? And I'm not saying that there are going to be times that you can't, you know, there you got to do what you got to do. I remember I worked at McDonald's for 2 days. Yes, I did. I was sick. I had a master's degree. I couldn't even do it. My son was mad. Mama, how you gonna work at the same McDonald's? I'm 14. I was like, baby, I got to do something. What I knew to be true is when you're depressed and you're going through, that is the worst time to isolate. So even if you can get up and walk down the street, if you can just go sit in the library, if you can go to church, and I would love to go to church when nobody was there, just me, Jesus, and hallelujah. You want to go places that feed your spirit. That's how you rise up out of it. The other thing is there's a difference between a hand out and a hand up. Because see, some of you figured it out. But you get a coach. They said, Dolores, what is a coach? A coach is a person that gives you a playbook and tells you what to do, how to shift, how to change, how to practice, and how to prepare for the unexpected. That's what a coach does. The coach sees your ability and they push you towards that. They create opportunities for you to grow. They groom you. I remember a time when Michael Jordan was not the Michael Jordan that we know today. Michael Jordan was sitting on the bench, baby. The bench. And he was probably the baddest one. But the coach was like, I'm not putting you on my team. What? He said, because you don't have heart. See, some people can be talented, but when you have heart, nothing is going to stop you. You're like, I will roll you over. I will listen, move, get out of my way. There's a song about move, get out of my way. Anyway, I didn't say I was singing today, but listen. He finally told Michael Jordan, he said, listen, here's the deal. If you meet me every day before school for an entire year and allow me to coach you, then I'll put you on the team. And at first, you know, Michael Jordan was like, what? But then it comes down to how bad do you want it? So Michael kept showing up, and true to his word, the coach put him on the team. And they say the rest is history. The rest is history. We're still talking about Michael Jordan. I stopped watching basketball when he retired, but that's okay. We're still talking about Michael Jordan. I don't care who else comes up on the scene. You still gonna talk about Michael Jordan. Okay? And see, somebody wants to be talking about you. Somebody wants to reach out like somebody did recently. They said, Dolores Jones, because of God and what you told me, I was able to escape a domestic violence situation with my life and with my kids. See, unless you've been there, you know, some people can tell you what they would do, but they're not you. They're not you. There's going to be the valleys, but then there's going to be the mountains, and then they're going to be, you know, but listen, as Bishop T.D. Jakes said, he said, you know what? Celebrate your triumph. I should still be celebrating my triumph. But when I lost my mind, I'm not telling y'all something that somebody told me I did. I knew I was out of my mind. I was like, Jesus, I'm all locked up inside of my head, God. Nobody knows what's going off. It's like bombs going off in my head. And I remember saying, God, you ain't going to leave me trapped in here, are you? And sometimes you feel trapped. You feel like you can't get out. And I just said, God, you're not going to leave me in here, right? Because sometimes you run into every and any and everybody trying to tell them your problem, but you need to go to the ultimate problem solver. Because it said who God has called, he qualifies. He's not going to take you somewhere and just drop you off and say, okay, good luck with that. In fact, he says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And then I love the other scripture that I heard recently. It says that they that sow in tears will reap in joy. Baby, your crying is intentional. So get off that, I ain't gonna cry. Baby, it hurts. It hurts to go through a divorce. It hurts to pick another relationship, to go through 2 divorces, to go through 2 domestic violent situations. That hurts, especially when you think you know better. And people say, well, when you know better, you do better. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because although you know better, you still have that old stinking thinking and all that old programming. And you got to get that out of the way. And you need to see that what you're using now is effective. Sometimes we want to abort the process before it's time. It's like you're trying to cook a cake. Hey, Gene, you're trying to cook a cake, and it says leave it in there for 45 minutes on 350. And you're like, I'm going to put it on 250, and I'm going to leave it in there for 25 minutes. I'm going to have a cake. No, you're going to have a mess. But there comes a point when you really want it, when you really, really want it, and you know nobody else is going to do that for you because nobody is you, and nobody has had the promise that God gave you. Then you go back out there. Now, yesterday, had y'all seen me, baby, listen. It was a different story. But now, see, that's what you need to say to yourself sometimes. But now, I ain't supposed to be on the bottom. And then you know what? Sometimes you hear people who remind you of how awesome you are. And you're like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Why? Because they're telling the truth. And you keep trying to take shortcuts and go places you don't belong and then get mad when all hell breaks loose. Because, you know, some people are faithful to a fault. You'll stay with old broke down, no good for nothing, big nose, sugar foot looking thing. Don't get me started. And then somebody with good sense, intelligent, hard working, comes into your life because you said that's what you want, but you weren't ready because you had the same mentality. And listen, ladies, we must heal ourselves, men and women, them and they. We must heal ourselves. We have to heal those wounds. You're not going to be haka, it's coming in a Honda. No, you better get in a book. You better get in a program, get on your knees, talk to God about it, walk it out, talk to other people about it, share and share and share some more. You don't belong on the bottom. Somebody has treated you like that. You don't belong. But when you wake up and go, wait a minute. Oh, hell no. You know how you do that? I remember when I was in that marriage and I went away to a conference in Chicago, right? I was trying to do what I thought God wanted me to do. And I was like, but God, this seems so odd. And then I couldn't really talk about, you know, I was like, God, I'm torn. The confusion. Do I go here? Do I go there? And it was so much confusion. And sometimes when there's so much confusion, that is the time not to make a decision. But anyway, that was then and this is now. And I ended up going to that conference and I was listening to women and I still remember this workshop. It was called, If You're Looking for a Prince, Why Are You Kissing Frogs? I said, she better do it. And she got to talking, and she was talking my language, and I stood up as animated as I am right now, and I started speaking. And at the end of the conference, the lady said, why aren't you up here talking? I never even considered it. That's why some of you are at the bottom, because you haven't even considered that you could be at the top. You can't talk to people in the bottom and ask them what to do. You need to talk to the people who've already made it out at the top and ask them to throw the rope. Throw the rope and give me some hope. But be real with it. You're going to have them days where you feel good. You're going to have them days where you're like, I ain't even, no. But then you meet somebody on a video so far, Eric Thomas, who was like, you can't just be half-time. You got to give 120%. And he said he went to God. He was like, God, I did this and I did that, but I'm still broke. He said, being nice is not going to change your money situation. You got to do the things to get the money. I was like, he's so right. And he smacked me. I said, oh, Dolores Jones, you're going to figure out how to do these videos. You're going to figure out how one of my dear support persons said. He said, Dolores, I know you're doing Facebook, but baby girl, you need to put that stuff on YouTube and TikTok and this and that so you can earn your money. But see, sometimes Facebook is so easy. Because why? Because I've been doing it for so long. And that's the other challenge when you're trying to rise up. Something that you did back then may not work right now. Are you flexible enough? Are you willing to try a new thing for a new outcome? How long? As long as it takes. You see some people, and I just remember Eric E.T., the hip-hop preacher, saying 5 years. He gave himself, or he put in the work 5 years. Bishop T.D. Jakes says people have lied to some of us. It takes time for certain things. And you're sitting there looking on social media and you competing with the person who you don't know where they've been. You don't know if they sold their soul to the devil. You don't know what they had to come through to get to where they are. But if you're not careful, you'll start, envying them and getting mad. And when you find something like that happening, you need to check yourself. Dolores Jones, yes, what's wrong with you? Well, what? Have you been doing what you're supposed to be doing to get what it is you say you want? No, then be quiet. Sometimes people's success makes you uncomfortable. Why? Because you know you belong right there with them. Yes, new tools for a new level. Because you know right there going to be a new devil. But here's the thing. There comes a point in your life, I don't know what it's going to be, that you can't be broken anymore. I mean, you could hit rock bottom, hit in your face, bam, just like that, right? It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be something I went through and my mind was gone for 2 years. And nobody else could help me but God. I had people praying for me, but at the end of the day, I had to say, God, did you bring me here to leave me? My son is 17. He needs me. You know my mom, they said you took her. I know she died, Lord, but I don't believe you just took her because you didn't have another angel. God, that was an unfortunate situation, but I don't want to repeat it with my son. But we have our own issues, my son and I, and we're working through that. And there's some things that I'm not proud of, but I'll try to fix it, and hopefully we can heal it, and at the end of the day, that's it. But there's that point where you have to look honestly at yourself, and I love this. Stop blaming other people. Now, that's hard, right? Well, my daddy wasn't here, and my mama died. Yeah, I can understand that. And so was on drugs. Yeah, I get that too. So-and-so was so mean to me. I understand that too. I can't believe she said that. I know. After all I did for them, they betrayed me. I know that too. They didn't even call me to see if I was okay. Honey, I know that too. They're just users. Yes, but at the end of the day, here it is. Whenever you give your power, you keep saying it's their fault. They have the power to dictate where you're going to be. But if you say, you know what? No, my daddy wasn't there. That's his life. I had to do this. But as for me, this is my responsibility. I'm going to get my butt up. I'm going to go to school. When there was no lights on at the house, I could have said, you know what? It ain't my fault the lights ain't on. There's another adult that's supposed to be responsible for this. But at the end of the day, that adult was not going to live my life. So I got my happy hips on that Metro bus 2 hours early before I went to the school, went to the bathroom, opened up the door, locked the door, said my prayers, took my soap, my towel, my toothpaste, and hit all the hot spot, quoted a scripture, sang a song, and went to class like everybody else. And I didn't go to class looking broke down. That's why nobody knew my story. But oh, during the graduation, just to be kept by Jesus, honey. You never know. You're thinking some of your learning is coming from a college classroom. No, honey. Some of us had the life of what they said, school of hard knocks. You know, I know people who talk about, I can tell you how to have a good marriage. And that's a blessing, but I can tell you how not to have one. In other words, I can tell you what not to do. So even my experiences of being married and divorced, I have two husbands. They were my husband. Here was what I learned. Never make a decision when you're confused. Number two, people lie. False prophets lie. And God will talk to you. The other thing I learned, you don't have to help God do anything. You don't have to give somebody benefit of the doubt because y'all still go to church together. I was married to a preacher. I knew him as a preacher, but I didn't know him as a person. Had I known him as a person, ain't no way. In fact, I had left it. And then, people, well, girl, so-and-so single again. I didn't ask you to tell me all that. I done went on with my life. And then what happens? You let the person back in your life. Y'all start having conversations. Next thing you know, you turn your intelligence off. Maybe they remind you of you struggling. And if it's that you give things to about yourself will use them for their own benefit. And then try to blame you. You know what? You right. I let you get that off. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I once was lost and now I'm found. You're going to find yourself up out of my house. That's right. What would happen if you put enough effort in becoming the type of person that you admire? What would happen if you put more effort into doing that than trying to find somebody to be with you? What would happen if you began to be your own cheerleader? What would you do? What would happen if instead of waiting on the phone call, you got your head in a book? Those wounds that you started praising God for the things that you did make it through. There's a song that said, my soul looks back and wonder how I got over. You've ever been driving down the street in your car and something hits you and you go, oh my God, today, gee, you don't even care. You could be at the store in the grocery line and remember a time when I had to put food back. My God, today, I had to put the food back. I had $25 and a baby. I'm at Walmart. And I wanted to get me something and I wanted to get Ricky something. And it was so hard because as we walked through the door of Walmart, there was an electric horse. And I didn't have 50 cents to put him on the horse. I stood there as he was crying, Mama, Mommy, horsey, horsey, horsey. And some kind gentleman picked him up, put him on the horse, and put the two quarters in the machine. College degrees doesn't mean you got common sense. Oh, help me, Lord. But a college degree means that you have more options. You have an opportunity to learn something, how to communicate and how to talk to people. I said I could talk to the president, the pope, the prisoner, the pimp. I can talk to them all, honey. I can talk to them all. And not get mad or get afraid. Why? Because I know all power belongs to God. How do I know that? Because there was a time that I thought I was finente. I was over. Took a drug overdose. Did you want to die? No, I didn't want to die. I just wanted the pain to stop. And right now, some of you all want the pain to stop, and you need the pain to stop. But stop being a part of the problem. And what do I mean by that? Stop talking about the problem and focus on the problem solver. What can you do? And sometimes all you can do is all you can do. And make sure all you can do is what you should have done. Sometimes I have to just sit down. Say, God, that's not my battle. But Lord, can I go tell him off? Nope. Oh, Jesus. Can I throw another shoe at his head? No. You know what happened then? They came and arrested you. But the judge had favor. He had favor on you and let you go home. I said, Lord, but I just want more time with my son. Why is he doing this to me? He ain't your friend. Listen, some of y'all, I know we wish that you marry somebody in the church and that y'all gonna be friendly. But you got a savior. That's why you're not, you're saved by grace. But when you marry somebody, you don't know how y'all communicate. You got to do something. And I said, Lord, I want more time with my son. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of avoiding family reunions because they're going to ask me, where's Ricky? And I know he's with his daddy and he should be with me. And finally, there was a click. There was a shifting. He said, listen, girl, daughter, you can't control the quantity of time that you have with Ricky, but you can control the quality of time, the type of time Ricky has with you. See, that's because I got quiet and I started listening. I said, oh, God, you're on to something. And that's where my focus was. Every time Ricky was with me, whether he was with me for 3 hours or 3 days, honey, we did something exciting. It could be roller skating. We fed the ducks. At one point, I took him to Atlanta to the aquarium. Every chance I got when he was with me, I made it unforgettable. And he says, Mama, you remember that day we went to Disney World? Mama, you remember that day we went to Atlanta? Mama, you remember that day we went to this concert? You remember that day you took me to see Janelle Monáe and I was on the front row on the floor and then you made sure I went on and I got to meet her after the show? I said, yeah, baby, I do. And there were times I was feel down and Ricky would say, Mama, get up because you can do it. I was like, I can't. Yeah, you could do it. Because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you forget. But my son was like, Mom, I know you can do it. Because you've done it for me. I said, I have. And sometimes your why is, I said, I can't let my son down, Jesus. He wants these tickets to see Janelle Monáe. Now, you know, I done robbed Peter and Paul and Jimmy. He said, well, you got a mouth. Yes. You've been in this industry. You're a radio personality. You are a professional communicator, girlfriend. Get your butt out of that bed, put your clothes on. You know what time they're going to be at. They're going to be at the concert venue early in the morning. Get there early in the morning and start with something exciting. Don't come to my man left me. No. And no. I said, hi, I'm looking for someone that is a manager for Janelle Monáe. I was like, okay, we'll go find some. I said, thank you very much. When the young man came over, I said, hi, my name is Dolores Jones, and I have an incredible son named Ricky, and he won his talent show. And Ricky loves Janelle Monáe. And, I know sometimes you all have certain comp tickets for kids to enjoy the show. And, I'm just a single mama trying to do what I need to do. And he really wants to see the show. And I'm just wondering, is it possible? He said, well, give me your cell phone number. And I said, okay. He said, I'll let you know. Now, as soon as I'm going back to the car, the enemy says, he ain't going to call you. So you got to tell him to shut up. You know how long it took me to get over here, to put these clothes on, to get out here and talk to these people? You better shut up. And I went on and said, okay, pick up the phone again. Okay, who? Now call Rich out at 103. Really? Yeah, y'all are really good. Sometimes you go to jobs and you build relationships. You got to nurture those relationships because you never know. Well, just call and see. Hey, Rich, Dolores, I give him the whole spiel about my son. He says, Dolores, I don't have any tickets. I said, okay, it's all right. How's your family? Blah, blah, blah. And he said, but I wish I could. I said, there's no problem. No worries. I didn't make him go on a guilt trip. You better find me some tickets. And the next thing you know, my phone tweet, it was like, beep, beep, beep. It was the man for Janelle Monáe. He said, I got 2 tickets for your son. I said, no later than that. It was like 4:30. My phone rang. It was Rich. Dolores, I found 2 tickets. If you can get here before 5 o'clock, I got you tickets to the show. I went from 0 tickets to 4 free tickets, and it got better than that. Get up. You don't belong on the bottom. I'm at the door where her family's going through. I'm like, I'm VIP, even if you don't see it. See, you got to act like it, walk like it, talk like it. You can't say, I'm victorious. You can't do that. She said, you can't, who was that young woman said, you can't be a champion and walk around looking defeated. Baby, I don't want nothing she got. No, you can't coach me. No, I know you mean well, but you ain't figured it out. We ended up sitting with the family. Everybody's watching. Say, everybody watching me. Everybody watching me. Everybody watching me. Teach me how to Dougie. I'm going to teach you how to talk to some people. Because when the one man said, it happened to be her father, he said, they're not with us. I said, it's okay. Because he was right. I said, it's okay. I'm just like, y'all go ahead on because I'm still coming. And a man was watching. And he came over. He said, can I help you? And then I started explaining the situation. And I said, it's okay. I said, I just wanted my son to be here. The man gave me those backstage passes, the rope things, access, not just to the concert, but to the meet and greet. God is always working something on your behalf. Now, y'all, it's been a minute since I did one of these here videos. So I want you to like and share the video. Like and share the video. Can you do that? And get ready to support me on these other social media outlets. I'm going to tell you, what you need will be provided. Not too long ago, someone reached out after seeing me on LinkedIn or something and said there was a program, a company that wants to help new business owners build them free websites. I said, what? And so they said, well, tell us what you're up to and we'll decide if you get through. They sent me the message the other day. Somebody, congratulations, we want to take on your project and help you build your message. We're going to build a free website for you. And here is the kicker. We know we're going to be so good at it that you're going to tell people about it. Get up right now. I don't know what you're doing. You tripping. Hang up the phone. You sitting there arguing with somebody. Hang up. Hang up. Click. You have reached a number that is no longer in service. If you feel that you've reached the recording in error, you're probably right. She don't want to talk to you. Let me do your voicemail. Hi. Thanks for calling Jean. Jean is not full of your games anymore. She told you to hit the door. The end. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. You have reached this number that is no longer in service. You have been deleted. You have been blocked. Well, why'd you block me? I ain't even got to tell you that. Stop explaining yourself to people who... Why do you explain yourself to people? Only you can answer that. Why am I explaining to you? I'm grown. Why am I explaining to you that I'm going to do this? I'm grown. Because sometimes, honestly, secretly, if you're still dealing with low self-esteem or insecurities, oh, bless your heart, Miss Lattimore, you think you're thirsty, right? Kids be like, she's thirsty. That means you'll do anything just to get it. But when you realize you don't belong on the bottom and you know how to get to the top and you know you're on your way to the top and you know how to celebrate and stand in triumph, victory, just the fact that you're still here, you're still alive because somebody died. Every 40 seconds, somebody takes their lives. Who's that who said it's hard out here on a pimp? I told a pimp to go get a job. But it really is difficult. These are hard times. But there's a song that says, my God is greater. He can do anything. He can't fail, but he's greater. But there's certain things I have to do. Rise up, champion. You got a date with destiny. Destiny has been calling you. That's why that relationship didn't work. Destiny has been calling you. That's why you lost that job again. Stop playing small. I know what that means. Me? Dolores, we want you to come and speak. Me? I'm being humble. No, baby, that ain't humble. You tripping right now. You tripping. Somebody said, that's Dolores Jones. I said, oh, I'm just the girl next door. One of my friends, he said, don't you ever say that again. You're not the girl next door. You're Dolores Jones. Like Rick James said, I'm Rick James. He said, you're Dolores Jones. I said, I am, yeah. And someone else said, you're Dolores Jones. You're the comeback coach. I said, I am. You've been on Oprah. I said, why do people get, I said, can you tell me why do people get excited when they hear that you've met people? And he said, because you did something that person thought was worth noting. See, people on this level ain't coming down here with the chickens. They're not doing it. I said, oh. Focus and achieve your dream so that people want to talk to you. They want to be associated with you. They want to sign your book. They want to buy your clothes. They want to buy your jewelry. They want you to do their hair. They want you to do their makeup. Right? Well, I'm done now, and I'm going to have y'all send me some money. I don't mean like that, right? I'll put my Cash App in here. Honey, I haven't even used Cash App in so long. Or PayPal, any one of them anyway. But you got to come on off the bottom and stop picking up the pennies. Pennies, please. Pennies, please. Pennies, please. Because you're afraid that if you ask for more, you won't get it. Right back at you. All right, you all. Like and share the video. It's so good to be with you today. Watch it as many times as you need. Take the notes. Get that aha moments. When you hear yourself, that's it right there. Because sometimes I go back and watch these videos. I say, Dolores Jones, you did that. Dolores Jones. Come on, Jones. That's what I tell myself. I'm my own coach. Come on, Jones. You did that one, girl. What was the title? Your comeback is better than your setback. Jones, you did that. Girl, you did that. You did that. Do you hear me? God gave it to you and you delivered. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you that. Right? Don't wait. You be waiting for a lifetime. I remember somebody saying, ain't nobody never gave me no roses. Girl, I wouldn't tell nobody that. Don't tell nobody that. Get your butt up and go find the roses that you want. And if you're in Kansas City, there's a place called Trap, Trapp. And after 4 o'clock, those roses are half price, baby. Yeah, ain't nobody never bought me no roses. Don't tell that lie again. Go get you some, even if it's 2 roses. You be desperate. Oh my God, he gave me some roses. He crazy as hell, but he gave me some roses. No. Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? Don't expect somebody to do something for you that you're not willing to do for yourself. Oh! I felt that in my pinky toe. Don't expect somebody to do something for you that you haven't been willing to do for yourself. Go get your toes done. Get your hair done. Go wash your own clothes. Go buy something for yourself. Girl, I'm saving for a rainy day. Baby, do you know how much it's been storming? There been hurricanes in Jacksonville, Florida. Stop saving for the rainy day. Yes, the rainy day is going to come. But there's a moment where you have to take something and celebrate and do something good for yourself. I don't care what it is. You could be a tummy tuck, and I have some people that did that. Some people got extra booty out. You listen. I said, girl, how much you pay for that? She said, $5,000. I said, okay. I'm good with my booty. I'm going to have to do some squats. I'm not about to give y'all all that money to be in pain. Now, this tummy tuck thing, I'm going to have to put that on the altar. Okay. I have to put that on the altar. Jesus, she said that it was $5,000. And her man paid half, and she paid half, Lord. Because she done had them cheering. Now, Lord, if it be thy will, direct me. Now I got a job with some benefits. Y'all, I'm gone. I love y'all. Thank y'all for spending this time with me. And let's do it again, shall we? Shall we? Really soon. All right. Blessings to you and yours. I am Dolores Jones, your queen of comebacks and your confidence expert. You know why? Because you've got what it takes. You don't belong on the bottom. It's time to rise up. Drop the heavy loads. And rise up. That's not your problem. It's not your business. He grown. He know how to get up like you did. She grown. She know how to not do that. Oh, Bible said you don't want to work. You don't want to eat. Oh, I got a story right there, but I'm not going to do it. I can't tell y'all that story. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Let me see. No. Will you come back and I can tell you that story? Okay, I'll tell you. Listen, if you promise, put in here that you shared the video and that I'm going to shout you out. Listen, just put you shared the video and I'm going to call you out because I appreciate you. But we're talking about, taking on people that have nothing to do with you. And at one point, I was in a relationship, or as they say, a situationship, and the young man had lied, and he told me his job had transferred him to Kansas City. And I was like, okay, because we're not having sex until I'm married. And that's a whole nother story. I wouldn't even admit it right now, but I'll talk to you about that one day. But listen, so the business ain't called him. He had every excuse in the book. Now I'm looking like, wait a minute, bro. Food got to come in. So he goes grocery shopping with me. Now my food bill went from $150 to $300 because I had a grown man in my house who wasn't working and not contributing. So we go to the grocery store. Y'all know where I went. Walmart. Okay. And I'm going through the aisles, and he picks up this $10 can of cashews. I'm looking at him because he ain't got no skin in the game. He put them in the basket. I go right behind him and take that can of $10 cashews, and I put it back on the shelf. I said, priorities, honey, only priorities. Now, who was a dumb one? I was. First of all, he ain't got no job. You knew he was lying. You was hoping he wasn't lying. You trying to hope this is from the Lord. And eventually I told the bro, listen, I done called the men's shelter. You gonna have to go. What? I said, you got to go. I was tripping, but you got to go now. He started capping the attitude. I said, hold up, player. Hold up, player. Do you want to walk out on your own, or do you need a police escort? Just tell me how you want it. You know what? When I looked at myself like this, I felt like, what's that guy's name, that white guy? Oh my God. Let me tell you something. But he had that hat on, and he was green. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, bye for now.